Today I'm going to talk to you about some common errors that my students have with non-count nouns. I know that sometimes non-count nouns can be really confusing. They don't make sense all the time. So here are two categories or types of non-count nouns that my students often get confused with and they make errors. The first one is when you have a whole group of similar things. So for example, some common nouns that international students make errors with are baggage or luggage. So for example, they might say, I need to find all of my luggages. So in English, we don't count that, we say luggage. I need to find all of my luggage. Another one is equipment. We don't count equipment, we consider it a whole group. So we would say, there is a lot of equipment in the store. We don't say, there are a lot of equipments. So you don't count that one. Another one is mail. We don't say, I have so many mails to get. We say, I have a lot of mail I need to get. Another one, the second category is abstract ideas. So things that we can't physically see. So for example, knowledge or information, advice. These are common nouns that my students often make errors with. So we wouldn't say there are so much informations. This is incorrect. We just say there is a lot of information. So you don't put an S on it and make sure that with your subject-verb agreement, it's singular. So there is a lot of information. Another one that my students often make a mistake with is advice. So my teacher has a lot of advice for me. Has a lot of advice. So I hear students oftentimes saying, my teacher has a lot of advices for me. So we can't count that advice or knowledge or information. These are considered non-count nouns. Also, students try to count homework and research. Those are also considered non-count nouns. Okay? So we wouldn't say, I have so much homeworks to do. Nope, we just say, I have a lot of homework to do. Research is interesting because research can be counted if you make it into a project, right? There are several research projects, so then you would count the actual projects. But we wouldn't say, there are so many researches to do. No, we would just say, there is a lot of research to do. Okay, I hope this helps with making your English a little better with the non-count nouns. And keep working on those and practice them at home. Okay, have a good day.